Welcome to the Pill Diaries. It's been a really good day today. Not only have I found out about a whole bunch of people who had coronavirus and have recovered okay within the space of between 2, in the case of a child, and 7 days, but this is good news and bad news. The good news is the video I did the other day where I said that US politics is, we can see it's all rigged, but the one last test would be to vote in Tulsi Gabbard, and if she ends up just towing the line, then we would know that the whole system is completely rigged. There's nothing you can do. Whether they get close to the top and then a man comes behind the curtain and goes, hey, I'm the person who's really in control, or we're the people who's really in control. Like I told about the scar on Sanders' face last time, and he changed his tune to I'm with her. Or if they just get greedy. I still find it hard to believe that Tulsi Gabbard just got greedy and decided to take some money. I don't picture that. But it could be. I think it's more likely that there's some weird powers in control of the whole world, never mind just America. But it's because what Tulsi Gabbard's just done is not only thrown in the towel, but she's just endorsed Biden. Now, as I say, it's not a question. Biden he's losing his mind. He's got senile dementia. The only way that you would decide to endorse Biden, besides towing the family line, or they threaten to kill her kids, or whatever it might be, but it's more likely that there is, just like Russia and a few other countries in the world, where there's either a multi-party system, like in Zimbabwe, there's a multi-party system, but only ZANU-PF is going to win. It's the same in America. They decide it's the Republicans' turn to have two things. The same creature owns both parties, and this is just, they've completely shown their hand. America, you're voting for Trump. Doesn't matter who you are, because you'd have to be a fucking moron to vote Biden. And if you do vote Biden, guess who you get? You get Hillary Clinton, because he won't be compos mentis to run the country. Then he'll go by default, and then Hillary Clinton will come in. Like, oh, yeah, I've just come from the shadows. Because then if he runs, he'll probably announce her as the VP. I highly doubt it'll be Tulsi Gabbard. On a big spin, maybe. Okay, one caveat: if she knows that he's ready to basically get put away, and she's going to be running as his VP, highly doubt it, because it would be Liz Warren, and she's a creature, and Sanders has shown he's a creature too. Tulsi most likely has shown she just towed the line, or like my mother said, it could be scopolamine or something like that, where they control their minds whenever they get close. You ever always seen the look on Obama's face when he was very connected, focused, and smart, and then he would turn into a sort of when he was talking about bombing Syria or something, So maybe they have got mind control, but one thing's for sure: no matter what happens, there's no such thing as democracy in America. It's just like many other countries that are, you can't call them one-party systems. As I say, Russia's not a one-party system, and neither is Zimbabwe, and neither is many other countries, neither South Africa, but the ANC always win, right? But I think we can tell now that America is a power, as I've called it many times, is a power-sharing duopoly. And the reason for that is because both parties are owned by the same thing. I don't know what that thing is. I don't think it's just a military-industrial complex. I don't think it's just big pharma. It's some big evil thing, just like every other country. So, are the people going to be suckers, or are they going to rebel? And this is not just that. Russia, same thing. With the news of Putin talking about, the law's been changed. They've talking about this for a while, actually, but the law that's now happened, where he can run for even longer now. So basically, you may as well call him emperor. So this is happening all over the world. Xi Jinping is same thing, in China. I really don't think I think this whole country thing is to give us two teams to cheer for. Yay, go blue, go red, yay, go yellow. I don't really think there's any difference. I think that's there to make us feel that we have some choice and we have some belonging. One thing is true is culture, but culture is not actually linked to country. Cultures existed before countries did, right? I don't know if people know that. Passports have only existed for 150 years. I would rather see a world with no countries. than see, because it's, if you really trace it back, the thing that's important is culture. The thing that these globalists try to take away from people using cultural Marxism was the destruction of culture, and this is why moral decay has been happening, because all countries are losing their cultures, right? But I actually think this is good news. It means you don't have to try waste your time thinking, oh damn, if only the DNC didn't block Tulsi, because it's all, the beast is shown behind the curtain, you know? There's no point now. So I mean, Trump's not that bad compared to other people, but he's still what you're getting given. He's what they're telling you. You have Trump. The Simpsons told you have Trump years ago. Not the only place, but the Simpsons did. And you know, if you don't accept that, then you get something far worse. You get Hillary Clinton, because I know that's going to happen. Hillary will probably end up running. You know, wait till the last minute. Oh no, it looks like Biden's gone, and you know, if his mental decay speeds up, because right now it looks like as soon as 5 o'clock hits, his brain starts to rapidly deteriorate. You can't, you know, his staff are scrambling around him, trying to keep him away from the media. It's really hilarious. Not hilarious by him going sick. I mean, the thing is, if he didn't have such a massive giant ego, fuck him. He's been corrupt his whole life, you know. So I don't care. Let him die. Let anything happen to him. Whatever. Let him be tortured to death, because he's a despicable, horrible person. The things that he's done are disgusting. People got upset a while ago. One of my friends in New Zealand, who I fell out with, just over this. If you're watching the days, no hard feelings, you know. But he got upset because I talked about George Bush when his dad was dying. I'm like, don't pretend you're a human or something like that. I don't know what the comment was. It wasn't that bad. It was just one of these things where if you choose to be offended, you can be offended. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, of all the people to be offended for, you're offended for a fucking war criminal who killed millions of people. Like Obama killed millions of people. Like Bill Clinton fiddled with millions of children. Who knows? Who knows what he got up to? But we all know that he's a war criminal as well. So all these false narratives, Tony Blair as well. So these people, you can make sick jokes about them. You know why? Because a comedian can make an edgy joke and get away with it. This world, we're allowed to laugh, especially at people who have killed, people who have destroyed the lives of others en masse. They are mass murderers, right? So please, any of my friends, you know, if we're going to get on well, don't stick up for these creatures. They are creatures. And as far as left and right's concerned, because obviously I'm a mild lefty, and I've been pro-Trump since the cheating, the DNC fraud that happened. Even though I know the system's also rigged, so that the Trump might just be the guy that we were given. There might have been no choice at all. But what I do know is that if there is a choice, regardless of what choice you make, it makes no fucking difference. Because we already saw Obama carrying on the Bush's war, Bush 1, Bush 2, Bush Senior, Bush Junior. So it's all written in stone. We already saw the list. Years ago, we saw the list of Libya and Syria and all these countries on that list, and we've seen them getting picked off one at a time. You know, the fact that we're all still accepting this political system, especially the Americans and the English, who's well, let's say British because it is on behalf of the whole of Britain that they defile their name. The fact that and Israelis too. The fact that they know this list existed and now our countries have actually gone out there to destroy these countries, that alone should make people rebel and revolt of the government. You know why? Because if you think it should be someone else's problem that you have failed to oust your regime, because remember all these countries that we attack, they get attacked because they have a regime, right? You have a regime in America. You have a regime in England. You have a regime in Russia and China and everywhere else. You have a regime in Philippines with Duterte. You've got all these regimes around the world. Look at the situation that happened in Brazil with Dilma Rousseff getting ousted. Okay, she was corrupt too, but new regime leader. Look at the situation with Maduro now. He's a bit of a retard, but still, he's not as bad as the Guaido who's trying to take his place, who's the corporate shill. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean because one person's bad, the other person's good. They're all bad. The key is getting rid of countries and having local autonomy all around the world. Control of your immediate area. Why? Because we humans are the stewards. I keep on saying that in these videos. We're the stewards of this earth, and the reason these creatures and our environment and everything's getting fucked up, never mind global warming, I don't even want to have that argument with people. Let's just call it global pollution, something we can actually see happening. Let's just call it the destruction of species, the destruction of environment, and the suffering of all these animals and people. This would not happen if the people that are making the decisions lived within a few kilometers of where they was being affected. And that's only happening because we have centralized governments. That is what's fucked up the planet. Centralized governments are the problem. The world needs to go back to an anarchistic state. And anarchy, as I say in every video, does not mean chaos. Anarchy means local control. It was changed in dictionaries as part of propaganda drives from the 1800s, I think it was. It actually started, not the 1900s. So it's been over 100 years. They've tried to change the meaning of that word. And the meaning of anarchy just means local control. I'm an anarcho-capitalist, meaning local governance, and I'm still a capitalist. Now, a lot of people, a lot of my lefty friends will get, my lefty friends will get annoyed at that because they're socialists. I don't think socialism is the answer. I think a mixture of socialism and true capitalism is good, because I do agree that the roads are better off being paid for, although we should have air routes because we should be able to be flying around right now. The technology's there. I think that ambulance and fire engine and hospitals should be paid by taxes. And I do think the government should be very light and small. So you can have local governance, but overall these services would be national services. Or it could be local, but it wouldn't make as much sense. That you could be, it's up for debate because it's not even happening yet. I'm just saying there's better ways to do things, and we're not doing it better. We're doing it dumb. We're doing it wastefully. We're giving people jobs to lower the employment rates. Inevitably, in the end, I understand that capitalism can sustain in a world that has full automation, because machines will end up doing everything better than us. Whether it's art or poetry, it will all happen in time. So the future for the human race, if we do get over this ridiculous paradigm of having these fake parties in control of us, taking us fucking nowhere, because that's what's happening. All they've done, whether it's the emperor back in Julius Caesar's time, whether it was the church, whether it be Hinduism, Christianity, religions held us back. The emperor held us back. The monarchies held us back. The Church of England, Church, whatever it was, they all held us back. And then the next iteration was the government, and they've held us back. I think it's starting to spark in people's mind now. Governments and corporations did not help us get technology. People did. When you take away the incentive for people to work, not everybody gets lazy. Some people say, right, I want to do something cool. See, what happens right now is we all slave away in the wrong jobs. Most of us, 99% of us, are in the wrong jobs. We might love our job, but there's actually something better we could be doing. If you didn't have to work, you might play your Xbox for a while, but then you're going to get sick of it. You're eventually, if you're not a complete lazy slug, as a proportion of society will become druggies and wasters and losers, they'll die out, because they won't be getting socialist income. But there will be something that you have to contribute, and that could just be time. I think the future is innovation to contribute. If you're being a lazy slug, well, you won't get anything. It has to remain a level of capitalism, and that can only happen if we leave the planet, or leave the realm, leave the universe, leave the multiverse, this section of the multiverse, whatever it is that we're living in, because I don't want to get into that debate right now, because it's actually irrelevant. Whatever we have is what we have. Flat earthers and globe theorists and whatever else you are, right? So I hope this is one step closer to having that great future. We can actually seed the universe and do what our spirits that wouldn't be hindered by this flesh suit can do, and actually travel around and see stuff, kind of like Star Trek. And And no one's got the answers all right now for what we'll need then, but it's a stepped approach. But the steps we're choosing right now, having these false two-party systems and all that, and these single-party dictatorships we have in countries, it's not the answer. It's not taking the human race forward. We need to overthrow these fuckers everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to get in trouble for that. Theoretically. No, it's true though. Governments are the source of all of our problems in this time. Used to be churches, used to be the emperor, used to be the kings and queens, but now it's the governments and the Holy Union that is the government corporate kleptocracy. So the government and the corporations work together. They feed each other. They're a symbiosis, right? I'm going to leave it there. Tulsi Gabbard, no matter what happens now, unless she's only doing some kind of scheming trick to get in because Biden's going to be declared, he's going to be certified and she's actually running as VP. But if she's not running as VP, I don't give a shit if she's setting herself up for 4 years' time. You are feeding the system and keeping it going, and you've lost all your support, and you done fucked up, girl. All right, bye.